Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Political Vigilante. My name is Graham Elwood. Well, an interesting thing just happened, and how it's being reported is, I don't know, fairly consistent with what the corporate media does, but there's some little wrinkles in there. There's an article that was in Reuters, and it was picked up, and I have the Yahoo News copy, but U.S. threatens sanctions against Iran after Russia UN veto. So here's what's happened. On Monday, the United States threatened unilateral action against Iran after Russia vetoed a Western bid for the United Nations Security Council to call out Tehran for failing to prevent its weapons from falling into the hands of Yemen's Houthi group. That's the first paragraph. Way down in the article, it talks about that the U.S. is in a proxy war. The second to last paragraph. A proxy war is playing out in Yemen between Iran and U.S. ally Saudi Arabia. A Saudi-led coalition intervened in Yemen in 2015, backing government forces fighting Iran-allied Houthi rebels. Iran is denied supplying the Houthis weapons. So it says a proxy war. And U.S. ally Saudi Arabia. It says it, so if you know what a proxy war is, you're going to read that and go, okay, but this is way deep in the article. And it doesn't flat out say, America, that's what this is really about, and this is really about those two pipelines that we've talked about numerous times. Iran and Russia want a pipeline through Syria that so Russia can sell oil in Western Europe. We and the Saudis, we want our pipeline to go through. So, weird that this article doesn't cover that. It just lightly mentions this little proxy war that we started, that we've backed, that we have helped create. 130 kids die every day in Yemen as a result of this proxy war. Doesn't really mention that, oddly enough. And then there is a video that's playing on top of this. So I'll put the link to this Yahoo with this. And so it's funny how we call what's going on in Syria a humanitarian crisis, and we're blaming Russia and Iran for that, even though we're very much participating in that. And yet this article doesn't mention any of the humanitarian crisis that is happening in Yemen that is directly as a result of us. So it's just, and you're seeing it's more of the anti-Russia narrative in this article. Oh, Russia and Iran, keep those evil empires linked. It doesn't mention the petrodollar at all. It doesn't mention how Russia and China don't want to use our currency anymore, and that's a big part of it. It doesn't mention any of that. Here's what it does mention. And our good friend Nikki Haley. Ugh. If Russia is going to continue to cover for Iran, then the U.S. and our partners need to take action on our own. If we're not going to get action on the council, then we have to take our own actions, Nikki Haley told reporters. We're strict action, sanctions, blah, blah, blah. Haley did not specify what kind of action could be taken. Right. The Russian veto was a defeat for the United States, which has been lobbying for months for Iran to be held accountable at the United Nations. We're not held accountable, by the way. The United States is not held accountable. We're not held accountable for all the drone strikes we've done. We're not held accountable for what's going on in Yemen or Syria. We're not held accountable for any of that. Just in case you were wondering. We're not. We don't have to answer for any of the crazy, awful shit we do. President Trump warned European allies last month that they had to commit by mid-May to work with Washington to improve the pact. Britain drafted the failed UN resolution in consultation with the United States and France. The initial draft text to renew the annual mandate of a targeted sanctions regime related to Yemen wanted to include a condemnation of Iran for violating an arms embargo on Houthi leaders and include a council commitment to take action over it. We've helped create what's going on in Yemen. We've done that. Obama started doing that. Chelsea Manning blew the whistle on that and a bunch of other things, and she went to prison and was beaten in prison. No mention of that in this article. That's peculiar. Maybe they just ran out of space. A council resolution needs 9 votes in favor and no vetoes by Russia, China, the United States, France, or Belgium to pass. Following the failed vote on the British draft, the council adopted a rival Russian draft that did not mention Iran or simply renew the UN sanctions regime on Yemen for a year. Oh, God. It's really... After the Security Council voted on Monday, Iran's mission to the United Nations accused the United States and Britain of misusing the council to advance their political agenda and put the blame on all that happens in Yemen on Iran. Yeah, that's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. America's not to blame for anything. It's never our fault. Us selling, between Obama and Trump, $210 billion worth of weapons to the Saudis that are being used in Yemen right now. That's not our fault. It just shows you what is really happening. And then it's all the titles. The UPI, Russia vetoes UN resolution condemning Iran sanctions. So it's all, Russia, Iran. That's what they all do. They all just say Russia, Iran, just to get that in your head. That's the propaganda machine. So you just scroll down, boy, this Russia vetoes this thing. So that's the headline. If you actually read all the way through, which most people don't when they see online articles, so they're just Russia's in league with Iran. Yeah, that's what Russia's doing. They're causing Russia and Iran, or they're causing Yemen, they're causing Syria. So they rigged our election. So you'll just believe all that then. That's how they do that. They just keep feeding you this shit, and then you'll just believe anything that keeps coming down the road. So that's what little articles like this are all about. It's Reuters, it's UPI, it's AP, picked up by Yahoo. So it's on your feed when you're scrolling down your homepage at Yahoo. That's where I found it. So I like calling bullshit like this out. And I like you guys because you get your news on YouTube. You get independent media. That's where you get your information. So thank you for watching this show. Like and subscribe. Go to the Patreon page because it supports independent media. Cut your cable. They're demonetizing my videos. They're unsubscribing people. So any way that you can support the show, I greatly appreciate it.